Alrighty, guys, welcome to Keith's Hot Takes, and this is a special episode because today's episode is called Keith's Hot Takes Homecoming Edition. And as you see, my background is the beautiful Bowman Gray Stadium because it's Winston-Salem State's homecoming, and I have two special guests on the line with me today. I have my guy Lamarck from J Wall Sports. Lamarck, how you doing today, bro?
I'm doing good, Keith. How about you?
I'm good, bro. It's homecoming, so I'm doing real good. And I got my guy Ruff from Timeout Sports. Ruff, how you doing today, bro?
Going good, man. Just another day.
Yes, sir. So as I'm looking here, we're 3-1 in our last four homecoming games, and unfortunately, our last homecoming didn't go so well. Upset my stomach how bad we played. We lost to Shaw 21-0. So this year we're going to try to, get past all that this year, and we play Livingstone Saturday. So how do you guys think the game's going to go, and who do you have win? Ruff, you can lead us off here. Tell us how you think it's gonna go.
Okay. So yeah, homecoming, like you said, great time to be a Ram. Last week we had a great win, just a dominant performance, and so I'm thinking that the Rams are gonna take that and they're gonna, expound upon it and have another great performance, and we're gonna get a win. I'm gonna say we get a win by 13 to, I say 10 to 13 points. Just a solid victory. I think we get the homecoming win, and the Rams get to enjoy again.
Yes, sir. I like the sound of that. Lamarck, how about you, bro?
Of course, I'm gonna go with the WSSU Rams. I think, we've bounced back, from the last two games, back-to-back wins. So I think they'll be able to carry that momentum over and get the win over Livingstone. Plus, it's homecoming, so there's always extra motivation to win on homecoming.
For sure. I also have us winning. I'm thinking big because ever since we've switched to Cam Smith, it seemed like we went from Jason Garrett as our offensive coordinator to Kellen Moore. And and I'm loving it. It seems like this offense is rolling, and I think we're going to keep this going. And I want us to get another shutout on homecoming. It'll be a nice way to end the home slate after everything that's went on this season. I think it'll be great for us to get a shutout. So I'm thinking big. I'm thinking 42-0, 49-0. I'm thinking big because I just love it. Our defense, you can move the ball on them, but I love how they hunker down and they always make a big play, whether it's a turnover or they block a kick or something like that. And I just love the way our offense, it seems like they've gotten new life ever since Cam Smith has taken over as the offensive coordinator, and I think that they keep that rolling against Livingstone. So I'm glad we all have Winston State winning here. All right, so let's switch to the NFL games now. And Ruff, you're going to try to do better than you did the first time you came on. In week 2, you went 12-8 the first time. And so far, the personal best record is my friend Terrence. He went 15-1 in week 5. So you guys will try to we don't have that many games this week, but you guys will try to do as good as Terrence did. So we have 6 teams that are on the bye this week. We have the Chargers, Steelers, Jaguars, Bills, Cowboys, and Vikings. They're all on a bye this week. So we only have 13 games this week. So let's get it started with the Thursday night game tomorrow. The Denver Broncos are visiting the Cleveland Browns. So how do you guys see this going on? How do you guys see this game playing out? I know the Browns are dealing with a lot of injuries. Baker Mayfield has been ruled out. I think that was smart, because they have a big game against the Steelers coming up in 10 days. So I think it'll be smart for them to use this as like an extra bye week, rest up that shoulder, see how good he can be by the time they play the Steelers on Halloween. So how you guys seeing the Thursday night matchup playing out tomorrow night?
It's pretty interesting for me because the Browns, they have a lot of injuries. So Nick Chubb, he's out. Kareem Hunt, he's still on the IR list right now. We know Baker Mayfield is out. So and Odell Beckham, he's back to being questionable. So there's a lot of injuries for them. And ultimately, I'm gonna go with the Broncos for this game, just because Teddy Bridgewater and this Broncos offense, they have a bit more continuity than Case Keenum and the Browns offense do.
Ruff, how about you, bro?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Lamarck on that. I believe that the Denver Broncos will get the win. I just think that putting Case Keenum into the fire, it's not going to go too well for the Browns. I think the Von Miller and the Broncos defensive players are going to get to him early and often and get him out of his game. I wouldn't be surprised if he has 2+ turnovers tomorrow. And I just think that Teddy Bridgewater is a quarterback that doesn't normally wow you, but he understands the moment. He understands that as long as I play clean football and I don't try to do too much, then my team can be successful. And so I think that's what's going to happen tomorrow night. I think that Denver will come away with a win. I'd say by 7 to 10 points, actually.
Yeah, I could see that too. I also have Denver winning because, as I see here, they're on a 3-game losing streak, and they really just need a win. And with everything the Browns have going on injury-wise, I think it's going to be too much for them to overcome. And like Ruff said, I think the Denver defense is really going to get after Case Keenum. I think he's going to have a long night. And I saw Von Miller said he's going to try to kill somebody tomorrow. So that was terrifying to hear. So Case Keenum better get that ball out quick because Von Miller hasn't had a sack in 2 weeks. So he's going to be hungry tomorrow night. So next we have the Washington football team visiting the Green Bay Packers. I'm taking the Green Bay Packers here. I just don't know how Washington slows down this Green Bay offense. I've been very disappointed in their defense. I agree with Shannon Sharp. He was saying he thinks that their defense was reading the press clippings a little too much in the offseason because they haven't been what they were last year, really getting after the quarterback, causing turnovers and stuff like that. And then their secondary is just really bad. So I don't see how they can slow down this Green Bay offense enough to get the win. So I got Green Bay winning by at least 10 points.
Yeah, I'm going with the Packers as well. I just think that, my Washington football team, man, they've took a step back, like you said, defensively. Pass rush is just not getting the pressure that it did last year. The back end, we kind of addressed it, but it didn't work. When you brought in William Jackson III, he's not giving you anything. Pretty much has a penalty every week. He's getting burnt in coverage. We know that Landon Collins is just off with this point in his career. He's slow, and he's not even tackling in space. I wanted them to use him as a linebacker, but he's literally getting tackles broken against him around the line of scrimmage. So Landon Collins just looks like a player that needs to be cut at this point. I'm ready for them to move on. It's not working. And so, like you said, I'm going with Green Bay. I just think that the Packers offense is going to be way too much. Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. He's in a groove. Aaron Jones, we know, is a guy that can get 3+ touchdowns in one game. You have Randall Cobb, who is with his friend, his brother, Aaron Rodgers, and they have chemistry. We know that Devontae Adams is, considered the best receiver in football by a lot of people. And so they're just going to be too much for Washington in this game. I think the Packers win it somewhat comfortably.
Mark, before you go, now one thing we do know in the past, Green Bay has played down to their competition, so I wouldn't be surprised if Washington hangs around for a little bit. But I agree with you. I think that Green Bay is going to be a little too much for them. Lamarck, how do you see this game playing out, bro?
Green Bay most definitely is going to win. I mean, everything that Ruff said, he really lives by it because he talked about those same things when we were on JWall Sports the other day. So with all those reasons, I agree with Ruff, and because of the fact that Aaron Rodgers, with all the controversy that he's had over the off season, he's coming into this season, to prove he's coming off MVP. So he has to uphold that. He has to show why he's a reigning MVP. And I think, that loss in week 1 against the Saints, where they pretty much are shut out. He didn't score a single touchdown, and the media, we criticized him for that. We was like, oh, he's not into it. We really read a lot into it, and he's here to show us that he still got it, that MVP wasn't a fluke. The first game was just, a bad opening day. And so I think he's going to come out and he's going to try to make a statement. I mean, you see what happened with the Bears, and he was like, "I still own you."
Yeah, that
I
was
mean,
cold.
he's coming in with that kind of mentality for the season.
Yeah, apparently a lady in the front row flipped him the double bird, and he really took that personally. And gave
She
him,
wasn't the only one. I seen the picture, and it was like at least about 10 people that was flicking Aaron Rodgers off when he scored that touchdown.
that's the wrong idea, pissing off that man. So yeah, next we have the Atlanta Falcons visiting the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are on a 5-game losing streak, and I'm afraid if they lose this one, Brian Flores may be getting his pink slip. So how do you guys see this game playing out?
I think this is going to be the game Miami is going to win. I think the last game was really tough. I mean, Tua, he had a really good game, came off injury. He threw for 300 plus yards. I mean, they're just scoring the ball was a bit of a problem for them. Now they should have had more than, well, I think it was like 20 points or 21
20
points, something like
points.
that. Yeah, they should have had more than 21 points. They should have scored more than 2 touchdowns. I mean, I have a lot of faith in Tua as a quarterback for this team in this league. So I think he's going to perform very well. It's going to be a second game back. I think the Atlanta defense is subpar. So I think Tua should be able to have a good throwing day, and the run game will be established.
Yeah, I also have the Dolphins winning. I just think they need a win. Like I stated earlier, they're on a 5-game losing streak, and they were without Xavier Howard and Byron Jones last week, and I think that played a big factor into it. You're down your top 2 corners. I don't know if they're going to play this week, but like you said, Tua, he looked really good last week. They just weren't able to finish the job, and I think he'll look much better in his second start back. And I don't know how the Falcons cover Jalen Waddle. I think he's going to be a matchup nightmare for them. So I definitely have the Dolphins winning as well. How about you, bro?
I'm going with the Falcons. I just think that their offense is cooking. Matt Ryan is showing that he's not the reason why they haven't been a good team lately. He's still a very good quarterback. You have a guy like Cordell Patterson who's playing very well, running the football and receiving. I'm going with the Falcons. I just don't have trust in Tua. I'm not a Tua fan. I don't believe in his long-term ability. I think if he's not going to be able to run the football and allow himself to be dynamic, then he really will not be successful in this league. And it's when you talk about Byron Jones and Xavier Howard, they've been playing and they still haven't been playing well. So I don't think just because if they play this week, that means that the Dolphins are going to win. When you look at it, Byron Jones is not playing that great. His numbers are not that great. And Xavier Howard is definitely not playing like he did last year. So I just think that the Falcons' offense will be enough to overpower the Dolphins, and they'll win a close one, maybe by 3.
Yeah, to go back on your point about Byron Jones and Xavier Howard, I didn't like what I saw in the game against the Bucks. It really looked like they weren't putting up much effort, and they were just letting the Bucks receivers do whatever they wanted. And I hope they haven't quit on Brian Flores because I think he's a great coach. So hopefully they haven't given up on him yet, and hopefully they can get this thing turned around.
Right. I mean, I sort of see like the same kind of problem with Miami that you see in New England. I mean, you have a good defense, and you have veterans all around them, but you have a young quarterback. And when you have a young quarterback, you have to go through those young quarterbacks up and downs. I mean, Peyton Manning went through them, Tom Brady went through them. All pretty much all your good quarterbacks that are franchise quarterbacks now, they went through those ups and downs, and they just had to find themselves in the league. And I think that's the same thing that Tua is doing essentially and especially this year when he solely has the starting job for the season, and unless Brian Flores decides to pull him, and not like he was last year when he was pulling him and adding him back in certain parts of the game and not letting him hit those growing pains in that curve.
Yeah, I just hope Tua can stay healthy because that's been a big issue for him. So hopefully he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
Next, we have the New York Jets visiting the New England Patriots. I got the Patriots here. They need a win really bad, and I just can't see them falling to 0-5 at home. They're much better than the Jets, so I think they'll do enough to win against the Jets. How about you guys?
I'm going with the Patriots as well. I don't believe in the Jets. Just not a very good team. Think that the Patriots will find some things to do and add to last week's game, because offensively, they didn't play bad. Mac Jones did some good things. I think this week he'll be kind of turnover free and play a clean game. And I think they'll get a close win over the Jets. I don't think that the Jets offense is nowhere as near as dynamic as the Cowboys. So clearly that will be a benefit for the Patriots. Lamar talked about the Patriots defense being good. I don't necessarily agree with that. But I think that their run defense is solid. But overall, their secondary has fell off. I mean, they're definitely missing Stephon Gilmore. But we're talking about the Jets. I mean, you have guys like Corey Davis. You have Jamison Crowder, who they don't even seem to be utilizing right. So I just think that there's issues going on with the Jets, and the Patriots are going to get a win. Bill Belichick will know how to scheme against them and take away their strengths.
Lamar, how about you, bro?
I agree with both you guys. The Patriots are going to win, and exactly what Ruff said. Bill Belichick, he's going to know how to scheme against them because he did it in their first matchup of the season, where not Mac Jones, but Zach Wilson, he had 4 interceptions. I mean, no receiver got over 73 yards. The run game, like you said, they have a good run defense. That Michael Carter, he had 59 yards. So I think that Zach Wilson and this Jets team, I think they're not experienced enough to be able to go up against a Belichick defense and come out to be successful.
Yeah, and I think Matthew Judon is going to give the Jets trouble too because he's been wrecking havoc this season. So the Jets, they don't have a good offensive line. So I think he's going to give Zach Wilson trouble. Like in that first matchup, the Patriots just whooped the Jets in the trenches, and that was one of the biggest reasons Zach Wilson struggled. So I think that'll continue for this matchup as well. Next, we have the Carolina Panthers visiting the New York Giants. So I've noticed that in the Panthers' 3 wins, they only have 1 turnover, but during this 3-game losing streak, they've had 8 turnovers. So I think they'll hopefully cure this turnover bug that they've had the last couple weeks, and they'll be at a Giants team who's just really bad. And I think the Panthers, they need a win really bad, and hopefully Sam Darnold doesn't throw it to the other team this week. They can get a run game to help him out, and hopefully he can get the ball to DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson, and I expect him to beat the Giants by at least 10 points.
Is Christian McCaffrey back for this game?
I don't think so. I think he went on IR.
He went back on IR, so he's going to miss at least 3 more weeks.
Yeah. He must have had a setback for them to put him back on the IR.
I got to say something about McCaffrey, man. McCaffrey is one of the most talented backs in the league. When he's on the field, he's the most dynamic, in my opinion, at this point, because you can count on him to he could literally get 100 yards on the ground and 100 yards in the air. But the injuries are starting to really worry me about his, for his long-term success in his career. I just don't know if he's going to be able to be the player long-term that we thought he could be because these injuries are piling up. As far as the game goes, I'm going to go with the Panthers as well, but I really don't feel good about it. This game could go either way. It just could. I mean, the Giants are without Barkley as well, so missing the top 2 running backs in the game. The key for me is, like you said, turnovers. Which one of these turnover-happy quarterbacks is going to be able to take care of the football? Daniel Jones or Sam Darnold? The quarterback that takes care of the football, I think team will get the win.
Yeah. Before you go, Lamar, I wanted to go off your point about Christian McCaffrey. I'm also concerned about his health. I'm wondering if they ran him into the ground because I feel like they used him a lot, a little too much, and I think that's part of the reason why he's having all these injuries. And hopefully they haven't ran him into the ground, and hopefully he can come back and be healthy because he's one of the most exciting running backs in the league. So we have to see.
Well, first of all, he ran himself into the ground because remember a few years back he said, "Why can't I play every down?" He wanted to be out there on the field for every down, and we know how taxing, playing a limited amount of snaps can be for a running back. I mean, look at Zeke. He regressed for a few years. But look at not the downfall. I can't say downfall. He had a pretty good career. But look at how Adrian Peterson, he regressed. Look at Todd Gurley. He's not in the league right now, but he was the top running back at one time. And that was just maybe about 2-3 years ago, and now he's out of the league. So for running backs is very taxing, which is why they don't get long-term deals, which is why I think Zeke will be the last long-term running back deal that we will see. And pertaining to the game, I'm going to go with the Jets. Not the Jets, but the Giants for this one. Yeah, they're both in New York. Confused me for a second. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Giants for this game. I mean, the Sam Darnold and this offense, they have a very big problem with scoring in the third quarter. So, I think it was episode 33. Yeah, episode 33 of JWall Sports. Me and Nashan, we broke down after the Eagles came back and won on the Panthers. Out of their five games at that time, in the third quarter, they scored a total of 7 points.
Yikes.
They're literally getting shut out in the third quarter, and then they're having to come back and try to score all those points in the fourth quarter. So that's really off for me. And out of the two, I think Sam Darnold has way more interceptions than Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, he had a real big interception problem last year, and he had one interception up until I think it was last week. He had one interception on the year. So he's got, that's like the main thing that like everybody's been on him about, those interceptions. And besides that last game, he's done a pretty great job of protecting the football and not turning it over.
When I'm talking about Daniel Jones, it's not just interceptions. You got to remember fumbles. Daniel Jones is a guy that fumbles also. So
I mean,
that's
interceptions
what I'm saying.
and fumbles. He only has the one turnover before last week.
Yeah, he's definitely doing a better job this year, but he's still. Right. We know his reputation and we know what he's capable of.
It's something
so
he's still got to look for.
Absolutely.
I understand you.
Yeah, so hopefully Sam Darnold and this offense can get it figured out. But Christian McCaffrey is just such a big piece of their offense, and they just haven't looked the same without him. So I'm not confident about that Panthers pick, but I just can't see them losing to the Giants, who don't seem to have much of an offense. Next, we have the Cincinnati Bengals visiting the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens are on a 5-game winning streak since that heartbreaking loss on opening Monday night to the Raiders. And I think they're going to shut down another young quarterback in this league. And I think they'll get a big win over the Cincinnati Bengals. This offense is just playing really well right now. They're clicking on all cylinders. And I don't see Jamar Chase and this Bengals offense having much success against the Ravens defense. I think they're going to try to make another statement again this week.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean, this Baltimore team, I had a lot of questions coming into the season about them because they had so many injuries to their running back core and just injuries like overall to the offensive side. But Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore offense with John Harbaugh, those two, they've been really killing it. The run game has been established every game. I mean, Lamar's been proving that he can win a game, come back from behind, and win a game throwing the ball in the air. So I just think that the Bengals defense is not going to have an answer for him. I think it's going to be a shootout. But I do think that the Baltimore Ravens will come out on top at the end because they're so run heavy and they'll eat up a lot of that clock.
Ruff, how about you, bro?
Where's this game at?
Baltimore.
Wow. So that might be the determining factor for me. One of them anyway. It comes down to Joe Mixon. I think Joe Mixon is going to need to have a great game and keep the ball out of Lamar Jackson's hands. If he can do that, the Bengals will win. This is a close one for me because the Bengals have definitely overachieved what people thought they would do. They look good. Like we said, Jamar Chase is playing ball. We know what Joe Mixon is capable of when healthy. You still have Tyler Boyd and Higgins. I'm gonna go with the Ravens, but I will say it will not shock me at all if the Bengals pull up this upset.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
won't be shocked.
yeah. I mean, because as long as they can keep Joe Burrow upright and healthy, I think this Bengals team is going to surprise people, and they may, get one of those wild card spots. We have to see. But I'm loving the Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase, that connection, and like you said, Joe Mixon. He's like a Alvin Kamara or Christian McCaffrey out of the backfield with everything he can do. He can run it and he can catch it. So this could be a shootout, but after the way they shut down Justin Herbert in that offense last week, I'm thinking they're going to try to make another statement again this week. So we have to see. Next, we have the Philadelphia Eagles visiting the Las Vegas Raiders. I like what I saw from the Raiders and their interim coach. I think his name is Rich Bisaccia. I think that's how you say his name. They looked really well last week. I thought the John Gruden, everything he said, the very disturbing comments that he made, I thought that was going to distract them. And I thought they were going to, have that over their heads and they weren't going to play well last week. But they came out, they were loose and free and looked like they had, the weight of the world off their shoulders. And they were just moving up and down the field on the Broncos. So the Eagles, they have a lot of questions on offense. They don't seem to want to run the ball for whatever reason. And I think the Ravens' defensive line is going to cause Jalen Hurts all type of problems. Ngakoue, Max Crosby, and on offense you got Darren Waller, Ruggs, Hunter Renfrow. So I think the Raiders are going to be a little too much for the Eagles, and I think the Raiders will get another victory this week. How about you guys?
Yeah, I'm going with the Raiders as well. I think that the Eagles are just not a very good football team. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of Jalen Hurts. I think that he's a dynamic runner of the football, but his accuracy is a question mark at this point.
Sure.
Devonta Smith, we know, is a dynamic receiver, but they're scheming at this point to try to slow him down, and they're not really getting anything from Rager and Quez Watkins. We know that Zach Ertz left and it's now a Cardinal. So I think that will potentially hurt them. Like you said, the Raiders are loaded. They have a very good team as far as weapons. And if they can just start to get anything from Josh Jacobs, they'll actually be a contender in the AFC, in my opinion. But I'm taking the Raiders to win this game.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ruff. I'm going to take the Raiders to win this game, but I wouldn't be surprised that if it's close or within a touchdown, because this Eagles team, they're all young. Every like offensive player from running back to the receivers to the quarterback, their line are veterans. But those, three positions, those have the majority of the young guys. And on the defense, they have a lot of young guys. So I think that a lot of their problems is, they're learning how to play in the NFL together. But the last couple of games, against the Chiefs, they started to make a little comeback towards the end of the game. That's when Jalen Hurts started to find his accuracy. And he did the same thing against the Panthers. In the fourth quarter, he made about 4 or 5 great passes, hit his receivers right on the money. And he just has to find that accuracy, throughout the entire game and not just in the fourth quarter. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's close, but I will take the Raiders winning.
Yeah, for sure. Really quickly, Jalen Hurts, he had some receivers wide open, and to go back to what Ruff was saying about his accuracy, you can't miss those throws, especially when you're trying to go up against a high-powered offense like the Bucs last week. That was concerning to see. I think he missed Devontae one time, and I think he may have missed Quez Watkins or somebody else, but it was just like, you got to make these throws if you want to be a franchise quarterback. So, yeah. Next, we have the Detroit Lions visiting the Los Angeles Rams. Matthew Stafford going up against his old team. The Lions, I think they're just going to have a hard time keeping up with this Rams team. And I expect the Rams to win. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions, kept it close, because they've been close in some ball games. But I just think the Rams just have too much talent on offense and defense. And I think they get another win here. How about y'all?
Yeah, I agree with you. The Rams, they have too much. I mean, I don't even know a way to put it. I mean, even if you switch the quarterbacks back, I still think that the Rams are still going to win this game just because offense is too much, defense is too much, and now you have a better quarterback, with Matthew Stafford. You can do a lot more. I mean, I would love to see some more play action come from, Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford. Just, throw the defense off, use your entire playbook because that's what McVay was really known for when he was with Goff, the play action and how he would scheme those amazing plays up, to get anybody open to go, to score the ball at a more efficient rate. But the Rams are going to win. It's not even going to be close.
How about you, Ruff?
I agree. I'm going with the Rams. I think they win this game something like 34-17. They're just a far better team, like we said. They have a lot of weapons on offense, and they have Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald on defense. Two of the best defensive players in the league. They're just going to be too much for the Lions. The Lions, like y'all said, have hung close in some games, but I think they've kind of been overachieving when it comes to that. I think this is the week that they get blown out again, and the Rams take a easy win home.
For sure. We have the Houston Texans visiting the Arizona Cardinals. This is a revenge game for DeAndre Hopkins and J.J. Watt. The Cardinals are the better team, so I think they'll win big here against the Texans. How about y'all?
Yeah, I'm going with the Cardinals as well. I think the Cardinals win that one pretty easily. I'll say 33-16.
I don't even know if the Texans can get that many points. How about you?
I mean, Texas, they got a rookie quarterback in and David Mills. He's all right, but I don't think he's gonna be able to go up against and do much against this Cardinals defense. So I'm gonna say about 34-6, maybe 40.
I can see something like that. And they've added Zach Ertz, so now they're just gonna be really impossible to.
Facts.
Jesus. We have the Chicago Bears visiting the Tampa Bay Bucks. This is a revenge game for Tom Brady. He really stunk it up against the Bears last year. And I think the Bucks are just going to be a little too much for the Bears, and I got the Bucks winning by at least 10 points.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bucks as well over the Bears. I'm not a fan of the Bears offense. Justin Fields looks like he's not really ready to be the quarterback that we think he can be one day. The Buccaneers are high-powered, weapons at every front. Leonard Fournette is running the ball well, and I think that the Buccaneers will win that game fairly easily, maybe 34-16.
Yeah, that's around what I was going to say. I was going to say 34-17 in favor of the Bucks.
Yeah, I can see that too. The Bears just don't have enough on offense to keep up with the Bucks' dynamic offense, so I can see that too. We have the Indianapolis Colts visiting the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers on a 3-game losing streak, and I think having the bye week, Kyle Shanahan will be able to come up with a game plan around what Trey Lance does best, and they need to win bad. So I got the 49ers winning over the Colts, who look really well. They look really good. Carson Wentz has been throwing bombs the last 2 weeks. But the 49ers, they just need to win bad at home, so I think they'll get a win.
I'm going to go opposite. I'm going to go with the Colts. I mean, that the Ravens versus Colts game, that really opened up my eyes to, a lot of the things that this Colts offense is doing very well that I wasn't expecting them to do so well this season. Carson Wentz is looking really good. If he can stay healthy throughout the entire game, I think they can win this game, especially if Jimmy Garoppolo is not going to be playing and Trey Lance is going to be that starting quarterback. I just don't think he has enough game reps to get the win.
What about you, Ruff?
Yeah, I'm going with the Colts as well in a close one. I think that their defense will be the difference. Darius Leonard, one of the better defensive players in the league. I think he makes a couple big plays and helps them pull it out in the end.
HBCU pride, baby. He went to South Carolina State. Monday night matchup is the Saints visiting the Seattle Seahawks. I just think Seattle at home, they're on a 2-game losing streak. They need to win bad. I think they found a way to beat a Saints team who's really up and down. and I got Seattle winning by 3 to 7 points in a very close competitive game.
I got to go with the Saints, man. I just can't put my trust in Geno.
I can understand that.
I just can't do it. I think the Saints will be able to run the football with Alvin Kamara. We've seen him start to get some more pass catching work, as it had been kind of puzzling why he wasn't getting any pass catching work early part of the season. But I guess they've actually watched the film and realized that he's one of the better pass catchers in the league for the running back position. And I think that the Saints will come out on top.
Lamar, how about you, bro?
I'm gonna go at the end. I'm gonna go with the Saints, man. Just they got a lot going on right now, and I just think that at the end of the day, they'll be able to come out and get the win. Like you said, you got Alvin Kamara. He's starting to get more work. With the check downs out of the backfield. The receiving core is a little questionable for me, but I think Seahawks without Gina, without Russell Wilson, it's just they're very hindered in what they can do.
For sure, to show our game of the week is the Kansas City Chiefs visiting the Tennessee Titans. I wanted to pick the Titans so bad, but I just think Patrick Mahomes, they find a way to beat the Titans. Hopefully, they can slow down that run game, but I'm not really confident they can do that. But I just think the Chiefs find a way to win. They can't afford to lose too many more if they want to keep pace in that division. So I got the Chiefs. How about y'all?
I got the Chiefs, man. After that first half against the Washington football team, it looks like Patrick Mahomes really calmed down and stopped trying to do the most for his team, which we know Patrick Mahomes, he can do it and be successful at it. He just taking too many shots. I liked what I've seen from it in that second half, and the offense. It looked like they are all clicking on all cylinders. Now it could just be because the Washington football team defense, they just started to figure them out in a sense, or Patrick Mahomes is really getting in his head like, all right, I can't try to be Superman. I got to take the cape off sometimes and give the cape to somebody else. So I'm gonna go with the Chiefs, and hopefully Patrick Mahomes can score the ball quickly, because we know Derrick Henry and the Titans are gonna hold that possession for a long time.
For sure. Ruff, how about you? Hopefully they don't cut off on you, but hopefully you can get your –
Yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs as well. I think it's going to be a great game, high scoring. I'm going to go with the Chiefs 31-27.
Alrighty, guys. So Ruff had to step away. He has something to do, but I appreciate him joining the show, taking time out of his busy schedule to join me. So Lamar, why don't you tell people where they can follow you and tell them about that episode you and Ruff did the other day and where they can find it at?
All right, so the episode that me and Ruff did yesterday, it's on YouTube at JWall Sports. You can also go check out our Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at JWall Sports. Facebook and Twitter will have the links to the episode, and you can also scroll down the feed and take a sneak peek at some of the topics that me and Ruff discussed. You can also follow me on my Instagram at LJ Hoops and on Twitter at LJ Hoops01.
Well, thank you so much for joining the show, bro. I know you have a busy schedule like Ruff, so I appreciate you joining the show today, bro.
Hey, man, it's no problem, man. Appreciate you for having me. Anytime I can come on Keith's Hot Takes, man, I just, let me know.